PC, thanks for joining me. Flipside CT here. Steve, thanks for some of you new subscribers. I'm not going to name all of you, but you know who you are. Thank you. And also you few folks who've been mentioning me on their videos. Thank you. That's kind of you. I just love to be able to contribute and turn some people on to things. That's what it's all about, and I love everyone's videos, trying to watch these as much as I can. So keep it up, keep it going. So today is going to be a tour of 2 stores. Okay, so I'm actually going to show some finds from 4 stores, but the 2 new stores are up sort of east of Hartford, Connecticut. The town of Vernon, and you know, one is a store that specializes in jukeboxes, and downstairs is where they have a little a record basement, but it's just full of just singles, 8 tracks, albums, you know, cool finds there. But I think you'll be really intrigued by the by some of the some of the jukeboxes that they have, some really old ones, so it's really neat to see them. Some stereo receivers, and there is one in there that I'm taking some notice in, which is one of the Marances. It's you know, you'll see. It moves quick. It's about 5 minutes of footage here, and then I go to a second record store. It's a new record store, and they are recently opened and just starting to break in. I know the fellow, he sort of wanted to be low-key, but you know, that's fine, but he's on his way to doing some great things for the record community, so that's cool. So without further ado, let's jump into it and take you on tour. Come on.
That's what you need. That's beautiful.
That came out summer of '62. It did, and it ended in summer of '62. The run. When they built it.
I see this one's gorgeous. I like this.
That's a 58.
Yeah, it looks like a Seaberg. I can see the tooth.
Exactly. Because they
The
always
teeth on there. Yeah.
Exactly. Even on the antique ones, they still did that.
Yep, with the teeth.
Yep.
That's what Bob was
That
telling me.
mechanism went for a long time. Well, this was the first year for that mechanism.
The music you want to hear out
45, and the first commercial mechanism designed for 45. Seaberg was really the first.
On eBay. It goes on eBay.
You even got a picture of Dick in there?
Well, this is 1943.
Oh, okay. So it's
But if you look,
yeah, he was more 60s.
You can see it on a pipe stand.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
But you
It's
see
the
this photos.
early Mike.
Yeah.
I go out and look at it, so now what people are asking what it sells for. So I will compare it to that. All right, we'll talk to you Tuesday.
I like the jacket, sir. From UES?
Because I had never seen that. So I was wondering, you know,
No.
Yeah.
just maybe.
Oh, yeah, right.
right, so that's the tour of those two stores. I want to just jump in right now to my finds. So there are 4 stores on these finds. This first one is one album that well, really everyone should get in the rock and roll. And I really wanted to get the complete copy. I think I did. Maybe you could help me out. This is Tonight's the Night. This is Neil. This is a beautiful original jacket here. I don't want to open up too much, but it did have the insert. It has one insert, and my question is, does it come with other inserts? Is there more to it than just this? It did have also the, the sleeve. So, this is a cool album. It's a sad album, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. I know some of you know the story, but those you don't, Neil went through a lot of 2 losses from his roadie and a guitarist from Crazy Horse. Died in 1973, 74. This album came out in 75. He went into the studio very raw album. Shows a lot of emotion, mistakes. He didn't go back and overdub it. He really kept it there. You could hear it in his voice. But this is like one of his cream of the crops. So I had to get that. My next album is a big thank you to Ben, Ryan Rocks, over in Austria. He recommended the album for me. In fact, he wanted to send it to me, but before he could tell me that, I did go out and buy it that day. This is Detroit, and Mitch Ryder's album, 1971, I believe. And this has some few covers in it: Let It Rock, Rock and Roll, It Ain't Easy, and some other really cool songs. The one great thing about this, it has Steve Hunter on it, who's the brilliant guitarist with Lou Reed and Alice Cooper, etc. In fact, Lou liked his version of Rock and Roll on this album. He brought him in to do his work for him. So, and the live album, of course. Thanks, Ben. This is fantastic. You hit it right on the head. This is real cool bluesy rock album. Next one is Quicksilver, and this is a band I didn't know much about, and I'm just starting to get into it. I'll be brief. I didn't realize Nicky Hopkins was the piano player for here, and he ties in with the Stones and Jeff Beck and the Who and the Kinks. He really helps this album a lot, tremendously. This is cool rock. I was really pleased with that. This one is an album I would not have gotten, and I'm glad I did. When I say not have gotten, when I was younger, I probably would have just overlooked this, but now I, realize how great it is. This is David Crosby's album, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's If I Could Only Remember My Name. That's the name of the album. He has a superstar cast in here. I don't know if you could see everything, but Jerry Garcia, Jorma Kekkonen, Phil Lesh, Krautzman, he has Neil on here. Oh gosh, he's got some Joni Mitchell, Grace Slick, just an all-star. This is a fabulous album. This is supposedly, from what I hear, is like the last hippie album. So really excited. So these albums I got from Jerosa Records in Danbury, Connecticut. You might know Ellen Foley. I know most of you old-timers know her from Meatloaf, from Paradise on the Dashboard Light. She's the one singing, Stop Right There, etc., etc. That's Ellen Foley. My tie-in as far as why I enjoy this is because Ian Hunter and Mick Ronson produced this, and Mick played guitar on here. So. fantastic album, but you know, good. I enjoy it. The second one of Ellen, she was dating Mick Jones from The Clash, so they got involved with her second album, and most of them are on it. So that's my second one. Going to Detroit again, Bob Seger. This is the album before Night Moves. I have to get all the ones, you know, below this, going backwards. This is a cool album. This is not the hard Seger, just starting to get into the lighter stuff. There's like 5 out of 9 songs are on Live Bullet here. You know, really cool album. Okay, so now to Red Squirrel Records. I got a few things there. I don't know too much of this band. I know this album is not as good as the others, but I wanted to get it. This is Blue Cheer, and I enjoyed it. You know, I did read some write-ups on it that some people thought it was kind of weak. I liked it, and I look forward to the other ones. Rory Gallagher. This is a compilation album. The Story So Far. This is from '74. I did buy 2 new albums. Actually, this one's, I believe, from 2008. I have the third album. This is the first album. The band is called The War on Drugs. Not as good as the third one, but I still like it. This is called Wagon Wheel Blues. Very rarely will I want to spend money on an album blindly. That's why I carry a book around with me to check things and research. But I saw Atlanta, I saw Garage Rock, and this album was in a clearance section called Subsonics in the Black Spot. Very different garage band. When I first put it on, I thought I was on 45 speed. It's sort of like Buddy Holly, Velvet Underground-ish.
You ran out of numbers to count them, and they ran out of you too. But you're too damaged. By the time it was 12,
I got to get used to it, but this was pretty interesting. Okay, so jumping into the jukebox store. You have seen a poster behind me, not there now, but Chuck Berry, Hail Hail Rock and Roll. And this is the album. I never had it. I had the CDs, I had the DVD. If you never saw this movie, check it out if you can. It's fabulous, hysterical, brilliant. Keith and Chuck Berry just are golden.
One of these days, I'm gonna be flying high. One of these days. One of these days, I'll be on high.
I don't think I have to say more about Chuck, right? Okay, so yeah, one more. So I don't know why it took me this long to get this guy's album. First solo album is Pete Townshend's first solo album, Who Came First. Anything Pete is brilliant to me, mostly in the 70s, you know, maybe early 80s. But this is just great music from him. Has to do with the Lifehouse Project, some demos. Dylan, New Morning. I think this is his 11th album from 1970. Oh, okay. So actually, I got this one from the last store that we saw, and this is Graham Nash, Wild Tales. Just cool rock and roll here. A little, grit in this album. This is his second one. So I got a Crosby and I got a Nash album. and Neil. So I think I got all stills. This is a club version record. This is the Faces long player. Just, you know, one of my top albums. Just love this. This doesn't have the cutout that usually you see here, but just the rawness of Faces. Okay, so I was going to buy 2 more albums, and my friend Ron, who was with me, had said, you know, I got these home, I'll give it to you, buy me this, and you know, we'll swap. So thanks, Ron, very kind of you, well appreciated. So first one is Sparks Indiscreet. This is from '75, and this is the go-to guy. This is the guy, the brilliant one. Those of you who don't know Sparks, from LA, they've been around for, you know, in the late '60s.
I'm in trouble, I know it. Oh, please let me back to school. Back in the happy hunting ground, we're all around. A fair, fair game. Let me the happy hunting ground. It's all around. It's not the same.
But Sparks are a unique band, and you know, those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. The last album he gave me was Savoy Brown, Hellbound Train. Just cool rock and roll, bluesy, from 1972. Cool rock. I have another batch from my show that I got to show you, but also this weekend I'm so excited. My flea market opens. Weather getting warmer. There is a show, but who knows what I'm going to do. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Bearing with me. Keep your vids coming. Bye.